Okay, here are the answers to math journal page 277 from yesterday. Okay, I did figure out you can do a text box. I opened this journal page with Doc Hub, and this is what you get. And then you get these toolbars up here. So this is how you do a text box, is click on that. And so I did a text box to write in all these answers. So 29% would be 2.29, 29 hundredths. 29 over 100 as a fraction. Okay, 0.30 would be 30%. 30 over 100, you could also reduce this to 3/10. This could also be 0.3. Take off that 0. Okay, they gave us 8/10, which would, as a decimal, would be 0.8, and which would be 80%, because if you add a 0 to both of these, you're basically multiplying them both by 10, and you would get 80 hundredths. You could add a 0 here, which would also be 80 hundredths as a decimal, which is 80%. And then 90% would be 0.90 or 0.9, 9/10, 90 hundredths, or 9/10 as a simplified fraction. You could also write that as 90 over 100. Okay. Now you had to insert the decimal into our answer. So the easiest way here, I think, would be to estimate. So 80 would be the estimate. Divide that by, I would do 3 or 2, because 2 is very close to 3. And then you have, what's half of 80? 80 divided by 2 would be 40. Well, if we put the decimal here, 28 is close to 40. Okay, so this one, here's our answer. So if I estimated this, I'm going to round this to 100, because 91 is pretty close to 100, right? So if I do 100 divided by 4, that would be 25 quarters. So 22.9 would be closest to 25. Okay, here I would do probably 100. I'm going to do 120, because, anybody know why? Anybody know why? Divided by 6, I know 6 goes into 12, or 120 exactly, which would be, anybody? 20 times. 20 times 6 equals 120. Oh, yeah. So here's my estimate. So if I put the decimal here, this thing is 20 is my estimate. 21.4 would be the answer. Okay, last one. 265.6. Well, 8 goes into, I'm going to do, I don't know if some of you are getting this, but if I round this to 240, okay, I'm using what we call compatible numbers. 265 is pretty darn close to 240. Divided by 8, I know that 8 can go into 24 exactly. So if I did that, I would get, my estimate would be 30. 30 times 8 equals 240. So if I put my decimal right here, that's close to 30, 33.2. So that's where the decimals would go. All right. Now here, I already started this one. I used this add text tool to write up here. The title for this graph would be favorite seasons. Okay, seasons, I could not get this to rotate to the counterclockwise. So I labeled this side the seasons, and then I have the fall, winter, spring, and summer seasons. Down here would be the number of students. So now I have to figure out what the numbers are going to be here. We call it the interval. Well, I know I'm going to need this tool now. This is going to be 0 students. On this line, that would be 0 students. And I know I have 15, 35, 20, 35, so, or 30. So my last one basically is gonna have to be, I'm probably gonna count by fives. So I'm gonna label each of these 5, 10, 15. So you have to kind of do some thinking about how you want to label your bottom numbers here. You don't want to just go randomly and do like 5, 15, 20, 20, because then it's not an equal number between each interval. That works out pretty well here, actually. Hi. Nice. Bobby painted me a picture. Okay, so now I can label my graph. Okay, so in the summer, I have 35 students. So I am going to fill out the bar that goes to, it's kind of a sideways bar graph. And, okay, just a sec, sweetie. Okay, so if you want to fill that in, you can. You don't have to. Okay, then spring, I have 20 students. So I'm going to go to here. Winter, I have 30. So I'm going to go to here. And winter, or fall, sorry, fall, 15. Okay, so it's kind of a sideways bar graph, or you could have also just filled in and made kind of a line plot. It's kind of however you want, just so you can see that. So you can obviously see that fourth grade students at Lighthouse School voted on their favorite season. What season is the most popular? Summer is right. Then we have winter, interesting, and then spring, and then fall. So you can kind of think where your favorite season would fall in there. Okay. Writing the ordered pair. Okay, we have 2 spots. This first one would be your X number, and that tells you how far you go to the right. And then your Y tells you how many spaces you go up. So A would be at 4, 2, over 4, up 2. B, you always go back to 0, 0. B, you go over 2, up 2. So B's coordinate would be 2, 2. C is right at 0, 0. That is called our origin. It's kind of the beginning. D is over 1, up 4. And E is over 2, up 5. Now the most common mistake here when people do ordered pairs is they'll go up and then over. Please make sure you always go over and then up. Okay, now this is new. Talking about negative numbers. We call those integers. Any positive or negative number are called integers. So 5 names, just like what if this was 12? You know, if that was just a positive 12, you could come up with infinite number of problems that equal 12. 11 plus 1. 100 minus 88. 2 times 6. Well, this is negatives now. So if you start at 0 on a number line and subtract 12, you would get to 12 below 0, or a negative 12. If you started at, let's say, 15, I'm just picking numbers. How many times or how many steps would I need? How many degrees would it have to drop to get to a negative 12? Well, I know from 15 to 0 would be 15 steps, or 15 degrees. Okay, so I'd have to subtract 15. But now I need to go 15, or 12, I'm sorry, I have to go 12 more. So I'm going to subtract 27 to get to negative 12. Okay, let's start with a negative number. How about if I start at negative 5? How many steps will I have to take in the negative direction to get to 12? Negative 12. Anybody? Anybody? 7. Okay, so you could sit here and do this forever. What if I started at a negative, let's go 18? I'm already at, let's think about it as 18 degrees below 0, and I want to go warmer, and I want to get to 12 degrees. I'm going to have to add or go to the positive side. How many places? So if I start at negative 18, now I need to go towards the positive on a number line. I'm going to take 6 positive steps, or the degrees will get warmer by 6 degrees. Okay, so this is new. This is something we will cover tomorrow and Thursday. Do you want to show me your picture? It's wet. You painted it. Pretty. Good job. All right, so you guys can have fun playing with this. Again, we call those integers, positive and negative numbers into Yep, just a sec here. I'm almost done. Come on. Oh, it's not coming up. Integers, that would be ERS here. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions, but those are the answers.